So I set on this path to try to figure out how I could end suicide. I started following those crumbs, success leaves crumbs. What are the most powerful people doing? What are the happiest people doing? What are the people that are reaching the most people doing? And I started studying those crumbs. So I believe we end this with connection. All right? We need to connect. Because whenever we do these things, we're trying to fill a void. We're trying to fill a hole. Right? So if that hole isn't there, there's nothing to fill. My brother's one of the 22 that you hear a day that is one of the best the red, white, and blue have to offer take their own life. All right, that happened when I was younger. I fully didn't understand it, nor did I understand life at that time. I actually went and played a basketball game the day I found out. In 2011, I got hit by the same situation. One of my best friends took his own life. And at that point, when they say you lose yourself to find yourself kind of thing? I don't necessarily believe that, but I really felt lost. What was I doing? At that point, I had businesses. I felt like I was a success. But then one of my best friends, I didn't know he was going through things that ended like that. So I tried to figure out what I was going to do and what I was going to be about my life. And then I set on my journey, which was to end suicide, addiction, and self-injurious behavior. Right? Because I believe every single one of us has greatness within us. Right? It's not a special DNA. It's not like you were born on this strand, so you get it. Oh, you weren't? You don't. Right? It doesn't work that way. We all have a unique set of skills. Right? We all have gifts. Our gifts are meant to be given. We master those gifts. Right? That's how we create our greatness. Right? So I wanted to create my greatness, and I was always good talking with people and reaching people. So I wanted to use that to change the world. Right? So to commit suicide, you needed 3 things, a combination of the first 2, and the last one for sure. The first one is you need to feel isolated. Right? You need to feel completely alone. Right? The second one is you need to feel like a burden. Right? Like everything's worse because you're here. And the third one is to harm yourself beyond repair. That third one is the hardest one for us to get. That's why it's the must. Everything in our body and our brain is taught to protect us. Right? So you have to get to the point where you can disregard the message of saving you. Right? Now, we would not have to worry about the third one if we stopped the first 2. Someone does something against the law. We want them to abide by the law. We disconnect them with their home, with what they're comfortable with what they're used to. All right? Because we want them to learn to follow the rules and the laws of the land. You mess up in jail, you get sent to the hole. Right? Solitary. You're by yourself. They disconnect you from your cell, from your unit, right? From the TV, from visitation, from mail, from everything. For you to learn how to act. They know connection is so important that you do not want to risk it over this. You want to stay connected to those things. Right? We disconnect from what you enjoy for you to get the idea and the message, for them to connect to you again, and you to have that feeling for you not to act up or do that again. Right? We also do it as a personal way. So there's levels of this, right? So surface level connection. So you walk into a bar and see someone wearing a hat of the team you like. You're like, hey, we can make a run this year, or that game was crazy. Why? It's because you feel that connection. Right? Then we just start talking about football. Oh, this player, or this team, or why is that my favorite team, or who do you like? Right? We connected at a very surface level. I don't know, this guy could have bodies in his closet. I don't think you do. But you could have bodies in your closet. I wouldn't know. But we connected at that level because of sports. Right? And then we go to casual connections. Like where you work. We probably have a lot of casual connections. Right? People you know, but you really don't know. You say hello, you pass the pleasantries, you might know like a little bit about their life, but you're not really deep into a relationship status with them, but you have that casual connection. Where you see them and you recognize a friendly face, and you'll be okay with saying hello and having some conversation, but nothing much more. Then next level is intimacy. That's more, I care about you. You're my friend, right? You're like a neighbor that we grew up next to forever, and like not whatever your neighbor's name was. I didn't want to make up a name. Those are more intimacy levels. You're more intimate with them. You know their family a little bit, you know their life a little bit. You grow, you're deeper with them. What happens to them matters to you. And then the deepest one is love. Right? The kind of love where you're willing to sacrifice yourself for someone else. Right? That deeper level love. That everything they are matters to you. That's the levels of connection. As you go deeper, you get deeper relationships. You get deeper connections. The more deeper connections we have, the more likely we are not to feel isolated, and the more likely we are not to feel like a burden. Because if that person you care about cares about you, and you know you're important in that person's life, right? How could I ever get to that point? Right? Like Martin Luther King wasn't here to see his dream accomplished, but it was. But he accomplished many goals along the way. So I have a dream. My dream is to end suicide.